Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So, this is going to be a talking video, sorry about that. The whole AdSense or ad apocalypse, as some folks like to call it, thing. I did quite a bit of research last night, spent quite a bit of time going through YouTube and reading some articles and so forth. At a suggestion of a buddy of mine, Roger O'Connor. So, good guy. Go check out his channel. He does a lot of cool stuff out there. Anyway, and I'm going to propose the following to you folks. This whole AdSense not suitable for all advertisers may actually be somewhat of a good thing. As I went through each video on the topic and so forth, I realized each person who communicated with YouTube kind of got a little bit more information. So as I took their information and the information YouTube gave me, I realized the following. What they would do with videos that weren't completely acceptable before the change, they would just limit the ads put on your videos. They wouldn't say anything. They just limited the number of ads. So none of us had any idea that some of our ads were tagged by their bots, and we were getting very limited views and so forth, and we just had no clue that was going on. So that was one revelation. Somebody else put up a video, and if you search words that are not suitable for all advertisers, you'll run across his video, and he actually did a really good job. He went through the trouble. That particular person made gamer videos, so you could just imagine all his videos were tagged because of the words that typically go with most gamer videos. So he actually went through and in the title or in the video, I mean, he was putting up like 30-second videos and specifically trying to use certain words, certain titles, certain tags, and so forth. And you'd be amazed at the words they put in the tagged bucket. Perhaps if he had those reviewed, they would have let him go. But meanwhile, once again, you're missing revenue if in the first 48 hours you lose, 36 of them. I was also surprised, for as unhappy as I was about getting these not suitable tags. Typically, I'd get the tag 24 hours into my video or 18 hours into my video, so I would get some yield out of the video before it went offline, sat offline for 24 hours and then came back online, so to speak. For a lot of people, their videos were getting tagged right out of the chute. I guess for as much I'm like the bots are watching me, there were certain people whose videos wouldn't go up unless they were manually reviewed. They were never released completely. From what I've read, your videos are still searchable, so to speak. Somebody could search your video, find it, and watch it. But back to if it's limited advertisers, it's limited advertisers. They're also working on, from what I was able to glean, to kind of get, they're also working on making the AdSense stuff even more specific. If you happen to be a sportsman who who enjoys the taste of venison, perhaps they're not going to put videos or advertisers on your channel who talk about certain pets, perhaps, right? Um, they're I guess if you want to make sure that you're not going to have any trouble with the AdSense bots, you have to set your videos up, use terminology, use things, phrases and thoughts, images, such that a grade school child with a huge curiosity is not asking, what are the two dogs doing out in the field? Or the rabbits? Or the pigs, right? You know, you have to set it up so that your videos are such that there is absolutely no reason for a child to watch them and be curious about that. Unfortunately, a lot of the techniques used for cooking, especially meat products, require certain things to prepare the product to cook. A lot of times if you buy a big piece of beef and you don't want to cook a piece of beef that's perhaps this big, I don't know, this big, you might want to separate it into smaller pieces that require certain tools. If you have beef that is of a tough cut, perhaps you want to make it so that it's easier to chew, and there's certain tools you would use to do that, certain techniques, and you would probably describe the tools and the techniques and how to use them. Unfortunately, you find yourself in the same position as some of the terminology that might be used on a gamer's video. By the way, and besides all this, if you look over your shoulder and there is perhaps a garage calendar from years ago, they might not like that either. Even the jacket I'm wearing, if for some reason the bots pick up an image on this jacket, whether it's a copyrighted image or something like that, perhaps you could find your video in that needs review bucket. I guess obviously I'm not happy about this because I try to run as friendly a channel as possible, and quite honestly, for any of us who watch TV here in the United States, and I'm sure it's not all that different as you watch TV around the world, as you go from channel to channel and you're watching anything from possibly stuff that's happening in your country or others, or if you're watching typical TV series or anything else, my channel I don't think comes anywhere near some of the words they use and the images they show and the thoughts they may provoke in that grade school child. So I'm not sure of the end game here for the Google bots. I'm just not sure it's viable. I guess is my comment, because you know, I mean, my channel deals with a lot of mechanical stuff, and I could start moving toward that and get the vlog aspect of it out, you know, get one's life out of there. As I travel about, if I see an interesting vehicle, I could avoid the type of vehicles that they don't they don't want shown. I mean, but um, I have other topics that I'm into and that I'm cool with. Um, but if somebody's a cook, I guess you're only going to be a pastry chef from now on. And even with that, you have to watch the words you're using. Um, I mean, plastic separating tool. You know, I don't know where they're going with this. To me, I find it very frustrating, and at this point, I understand it. So I'm going to go forward, and I think I'm going to stay with YouTube for now. But my eyes are also open for the other service providers out there, and if something is interesting and better, I might start moving toward that, and I might try to bring my subscribers and my fellow tubers who publish with me, right? Um, I mean, you know, if you're climbing a mountain and every time you know there's just another summit and another summit and another you know summit, and after a while you begin to run out of air and food and everything else. I mean, at some point you just got to kind of throw the towel. So I guess that's my concern from a viability point of view. You know, the internet, in a lot of ways, it's kind of a new frontier, and I'm not sure what I think. I always kind of view it as wide open, anything goes, and one has to be very careful with children, particularly because given that the motorcycle known as the internet has no governor, right? I mean, the child could go faster than the child should be going. So I think it should be monitored from a parental point of view. But then there's, I don't know. I guess, you know, some people are really, really good with complete freedom, and some people use complete freedom to to infringe on the rights of others. So I'm not, it's not something I really have to make a decision on and so forth, but just from a thought exercise point of view, it is something that we could all wrestle with quite a bit. I prefer to lean toward the idea that the internet is wide open. There is no governor, and proceed at your own risk. But then, on the other hand, I've had nobody steal all my passwords and all my money and destroy all my accounts, right? Suddenly now I'm saying, well, there should be some way of keeping people and tracking people who do that to me, right? Who steal my passwords and accounts and money. So you know what it's one of those things, right? Oh yeah, I can handle that motorcycle with what unlimited top speed, and then you know, can I? All right, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. This is the last video I'm making on this topic. I'm done with this. I'm not making any more on this topic. You guys could do the research I did and find out what words you want to stay away from, what images you want to stay away from, what topics you want to stay away from, what events you don't want to reference. And you'd be amazed at what events the bots are looking for. You cannot talk about that event that took place in New York City, and you cannot talk about that event that took place up in Massachusetts. And I'm sure there's all kinds of other events all around the world that you can't talk about because it'll cause you a problem. Believe it or not, they're even sensitive to a lot of the climactic conditions that you might reference. There's even some of those occurrences that the bots are sensitive to. They might not be sensitive to them today, but they could be sensitive to them tomorrow, depending on what trouble it's caused for some of the people who have been involved with the event. It really is difficult. But once again, it is also positive because at least now they're telling you that your video is flagged. Used to be you had no clue. Even you might have a great video and you could say, wow, I finally had a video that got more than 100 views. I'm on my way toward 1,000 or multiple thousands. And then at the end of the month you go, boy, I've had a few good videos and they're still paying me only 50 cents this month. What's with that? Well, what's with that is you were flagged, but they didn't tell you. So I guess maybe it's a good thing. Anyway, folks, I really want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. I hope this helps people. You guys could do, once again, all the research I did and discover what I discovered, and good luck with it. I hope my fellow tubers who publish continue to publish. I hope people who don't publish get into publishing, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff out there we could share with each other. There are people who've made the decision to say goodbye to AdSense and they're just doing YouTube for the fun of doing YouTube. I mean, that's completely valid, but if you want some of the income to defray some of the costs of what you're doing, that doesn't work for you. Folks, please keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and please, please get out there and enjoy every day. Don't let any time get by you. You really want to have fun. Bye now, folks.